Yo, what is going on, you blue bee barrels? Today we're playing some games with AbilityZard, not quite towards exact 60 anymore. I've cut the scoop ups, added a Switch, a Communication, and an Acro Bike. And even though this does make the Malamar matchup a little bit worse, still not a bad matchup by any means. It's still very winnable. And I do just find that, especially the fourth Communication, this is the change I've liked the most. It really helps find the Ninetales consistently, or find that Jirachi early. Big fan of the fourth Communication. Scoop ups, I did feel like they were just a little bit too gimmicky. And I feel like these three additions just make the deck a little bit more consistent overall into executing the desired game plan, especially now that I feel like consistency is such a big deal with all the decks really just being big tag team decks. It feels like, for the most part, just a bunch of big tag team decks. There's a little bit of Malamar, a little bit of stuff like Spiritomb and NagQuag, but for the most part, big tag team decks. Being fast and consistent and executing your game plan is essential right now. We want a Welder turn 1, we want a Welder turn 2, we want a Welder turn 3, we want to utilize Ninetales, so on. So yeah, I've really been liking this list. Go ahead and show it off for you guys today in today's video, so let's go ahead and get into it. Here we're opening the Dedenne, not the ideal starter. We do have a Welder for energy up against the Keldeo. Oh no, Keldeo can be a little bit tough to deal with. Our current hand does not deal with this current situation very well at all. Facing down a Keldeo, we definitely don't want to KO a Keldeo as our first thing. The one thing though that we can do is we can Welder to our active and then go into the Turtonator as soon as possible with our second Welder, and then look to use Turtonator to take the knockout, and we can just discard the energy off the Turtonator. So chasing what's it called in this matchup is usually the ideal way to go about it. Chasing down the Quagsires. There was a Cherish Ball from our opponent. Yeah, chasing down Quagsires is going to be our main goal here. I'll KO Keldeos when we have to, but if we can optimally chase down Keldeos, that's going to be our goal. Chase the Keldeos. Give us a Viridian Force, but I don't really want to Viridian Force anything away, so I think we're just going to open up our turn with Welder to our active, and then kind of see what we draw into and where the game goes from there. Like I said, yeah, Turtonator on our second turn to KO the Keldeo would be nice, but we'll have to wait and see what we draw into. The matchup is pretty tough, definitely an unfavorable matchup, the NagQuag is, so definitely not great matchup. I'm going to do what we can. Using Heatran when we can is also a good attacker in this matchup to trade with Quagsire, stuff like that. There's a Cherish Ball, so we could set up into a, what's it called now if we wanted to? It's escaping my mind. The Charizard. I don't think we want to do that though. I think we still just almost want to. Nah, let's go ahead and get the I almost just kind of want to Welder to the active anyways, because we can still utilize the energy off that with Turtonator or Heatran, and then keep the search cards in the hand. I actually kind of like that a little bit better, I think. 1, 2, 3. There's a Ninetales. Not optimal here at all, but we could go attach active now, and then pass over to our opponent, or we could actually calm the Ninetales into the deck. I think this is probably a little bit better. Get the Turtonator. Hopefully he's here. Get the Turtonator, and I think we'll attach to the Turtonator instead for this turn. And we'll just leave the Dedenne and the active stranded there. He'll be fine. He'll be okay. I believe in him. I believe in the Dedenne to get the job done. All right, we're now in a spot where we can turn to knock out this Keldeo, and our opponent can't take any knockout next turn, no matter what they do. Even if they retreat to like a Quagsire or something, they can't get enough energy to knock out the Dedenne. Dedenne cannot die here, so Dedenne safe. Can't die. They could hit him if they want to with the Keldeo. That's fine. Turn 2, we have the response with Turtonator. Knock out the Keldeo. And then from there, we want to look to attack with probably Heatran trading into Quagsires or something. It really depends on what our opponent chooses to attack with past this first Keldeo. First Keldeo, going to be the first thing they attack with. And what they attack with past that is going to be definitely interesting. It'll probably have to be Quagsires past that point. But we'll see what our opponent opts for. And then Heatran is going to be a good early attacker as well for us to get some early hits in to be trade out with the Quagsires and stuff. And then we'll use Victini eventually as well, and then maybe close out the game with a Reshiram. Kind of depends. We'll have to see where the rest of the game goes. But yeah, they're setting up fine. We'll see if they actually attack us with Keldeo. It looks like they are going to attack us with Keldeo, which I am more than fine with. Taking 3 energy out of play sounds a-okay with me. They'll have to find another energy, which won't be too hard. They do have the Viridian Force. Let's get another Nag in play though, or another another Naganadel in play though actually. But it looks like they are going to swing for 110, which is more than fine with me. I'm okay with this. This is fine. Never been happier. There's a Jirachi top deck. I'm not going to be able to utilize that super early on here, so we'll wait to get another Jirachi before we put a Jirachi in play. I'm just going to Welder to the Turtonator to start with here. And then this Cherish Ball might go for a Dedenne. We'll see what we draw into. We drew into another Welder, so I don't really want to... I think I'm just going to Acro Bike here and see what we get. Another Switch. Okay, well, that's all of our switches. Definitely switching into the Turtonator. And we could go for a Dedenne, but we do have the Welder in hand, which I definitely want to try and utilize. So I think I'm just going to knock this thing out. Yeah, I think we're just going to go like this. Explosive Jet, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Knock out the Keldeo with the Explosive Jet. See what our opponent comes up with off of that. Get ourselves our 2 prize cards. The option of the Welder for next turn. Yeah, I guess I kind of like this because we have the Welder in hand. There's a Dedenne anyways. So yeah, now we can go into the Heatran if we want to. Could go into a Reshiram. Could just attack with Turtonator again, depending on what our opponent does. There's the Cynthia. Like I said, they need another Naganadel. Energy for turn is no problem because of the Viridian Forest. But yeah, they need to... there's another Naganadel. So they can attack with Turning Point. They could attack with the Quagsire if they want to. But I will take the knockout on a Quag any day. We'll knock him out probably with the Heatran will be the game plan. Knock out Quag with Heatran. And then they'll be down to just the one Wooper. Which, if that does become a Quagsire, which there it does, then we can knock out this one, and then they're out of Quagsire, so they'll have to find another Wooper, get into another Quagsire, and so on. So yeah, it'd be Heatran to attack with next turn, I think. That's just what most likely is going to happen. I would prefer to take the knockout with Victini here. Well, I don't even know. We don't have that much energy in the discard pile, so maybe I am just fine with the Heatran knockout. If they just punch us for 80 with Naganadel, we can just go for the Welder, knockout with the Turtonator again. That's fine. And then from there, we'd probably most definitely like to look to attacking with the Victini on the following turn. But I would like to knock out a Quagsire, so I kind of want them to send up a Quagsire here. But they can hit us with Turning Point if they want. We'll see what they choose to go with. Definitely don't want to use Heatran if they hit us with Turning Point, though. Not using Heatran if they hit us with Turning Point. Pokegear into Lily. So we know they have a Lily next turn, for sure. Okay, they're going with the Quag knockout. Our response is going to be Heatran knockout, and then kind of force them to keep finding Quagsire pieces. They'll have a second Quagsire. That's what we're going to be looking to take a knockout on the next turn. And then, yeah, if they want to take a knockout next turn, they're going to have to use their other Quagsire. And then we'll knock that out. And then I guess we'll have to find... We'll definitely need our Pal Pad at this point. Pal Pad would be sick to find. Let's see. I think I'm Viridian Forcing away another Jirachi. We still have plenty left, so I'm not too worried about it. Cherish Ball. I want the Heatran. There he is. The Heatran. Give me the Heatran. Welder to the Heatran. Might Dedenne change. We'll see. Probably going to Dedenne change. There's a Vulpix. I can hit him with the Acro Bike. Take this Jirachi finally. There's a Heat Factory. Oh, I guess I could have... No, this is still fine. Switch into the Heatran. Just move... one of the energies. We'll keep him as a pivot. And then Dedenne change. Gonna use the Heat Factory. Looking for... what are we really looking for here? We're really looking for... Welder. We have one Welder left. So we're really looking for... What's it called? Probably here, actually. 1, 2, 3. There's a Reshiram. That's not gonna do a whole ton for us. Don't have the Welder, but we can still attach for turn. So actually, we're gonna go ahead and get ourselves that... Victini right now and just attach to him. So we can attack with him at next turn for sure. And then, yeah, Steam and Stomp. Take out this Quagsire. All right. Still cruising. Opponent's down to one Quag in play. That's good. That's what we were trying to get to. That's where they are now. The one Quag. So now from here, can knock out this Quagsire. And then if they don't have another Quagsire, they're going to be in a little bit of a tough spot. They will be able to Turning Point on the following turn. Actually, not even for sure, because they might have to put all the energy on the Quagsire. So they might not even be able to Turning Point for the enhanced effect next turn for sure. There's that Lily for 5, the attach for turn. Hopefully they don't bump our stadium. Heat Factory sticking in play would be great. That would be great if Heat Factory could stay in play. I would very much appreciate it if our opponent did not bump our Heat Factory here. We definitely need to try and see some more cards. We need like an Escape Board. Would be really good. We need to find Welders again. We haven't found the Pal Pad yet. There's still one Welder left. Pal Pad would be great to find here off the top or something like that. Not saying it's going to happen, but it would be nice. Pal Pad or Welder. But we're definitely in a fine spot. They're down to the one Quag. They did get the Wooper. So once we KO this Quag, it's going to come down to, once again, do they have a Quag for that Wooper? And if they do, we're kind of back in the same situation. Or if they get another Wooper, then we're going to be like, oh no, there is another Wooper. All right, so we're just going to keep punching through. Keep punching Quags, keep punching Woopers until our opponent hopefully runs out. They're out of communications. This is important. They have no other way to find Quags besides just drawing into them now. So now it's going to come down to, can they consistently keep drawing into the Quagsires? That's the point we've entered now. And they did get the third Naganadel, so they will be up to Turning Point with just an energy attachment out of hand next turn, which is definitely unfortunate for us, but oh well, just gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, matchup, like I said, definitely tough. It kind of comes down to, do they run out of Quagsires? So far, they have not. We could possibly go Knockout with Victini into Knockout with Ninetales, though, on one of these Woopers, and then Reshiram-GX to close out the game. But to pull that off, we need Welder. So I'm debating setting up Jirachi here, hoping to find an Escape Board no matter what, and then increasing my chances of finding the Welder. I think I kind of want to go with that, but we could just go with the Victini and guarantee the knockout. I think we need it. I think we need it here. I think we need to find the Welder here, so I'm gonna go for it. Cherish Ball. Okay, nothing left. Good to take note of. Start with Heat Factory. There's the Welder. I'm going to then put Heat Factory in play, or Giant Hearth in play. Get rid of Heat Factory. Giant Hearth away that. Get one more. I'm then going to Welder to. I do just kind of want to draw cards. I could Welder to the Jirachi actually. And if we don't draw a skateboard, now we're gonna draw a skateboard. I'm gonna play like we're drawing a skateboard here. We're gonna put these on the Vulpix. Draw 3. There's the escape board that I was talking about. Let's see, this is gonna go to the Victini. I kind of want to Stellar Wish here and look for, yeah, we definitely want to find ourselves, oof, not quite. Wanted to find the order, or the Pal Pad. Grab the Acro Bike. I am now going to try and Acro Bike into Pal Pad. There it is. Perfect, just right on time. A little bit slow, actually. It'll do. Pal Pad, 2 Welders back in the deck. Attached to the Victini. This should be a knockout, right? I didn't mess something up there, did I? No. Okay, good. Skateboard. Retreat. And we got that Infinity for the knockout. Knocking out the Quagsire. Now we're going to look to use the Vulpix and knock out a Wooper. Or make the Vulpix a Ninetales. Knock out a Wooper. And then go Reshiram-GX attack at the end of the game to close out the game. This does require us drawing a Welder at some point, and hopefully our Hearth not getting bumped so we can keep thinning out our deck of Fire Energy. They are down 2 Viridian Forest. They probably play 3. It's probably all the stadiums they play, so they only have 1 stadium left. They also probably play custom catchers, so if they ever get into the custom catcher combo and bring up the Dedenne and knock it out, we also lose the game. Like I said, tough matchup. We're making the best of it. We're in an okay spot here, but it really is all just coming down to our opponent whiffing at this point, which is fine. I can deal with that. There's the Lily for 5. They do have access to the Jet Geyser now, which would mean we would probably have to give up Jirachi if they did Jet Geyser us. But they would have to Jet Geyser us. If they also get another Quagsire on this Wooper, we also lose because we need to get that knockout with the Ninetales. I guess we could knock out the Quagsire with the Double Blaze and then hope our opponent just runs out of ways to, or get that last Quagsire, and then we would win as well, actually. That would work fine. Maybe that's the better way to go about it. They probably play the 4 Quagsire, though, so I'm kind of hesitant to do that when I can just do the Ninetales KO Wooper. And I don't think they can get 9 energy in play to... yeah, I don't think they can quite get 9 or 8 energy in play next turn. Actually, they could get pretty close to 8. 5, 6, 7, 8. Ooh. They could actually get 8 energy in play and then GX attack with the Whale Lord. That would be annoying. Let's see what we draw here. A Hearth. Okay, I'm going to Giant Hearth away Jirachi. Get 2 fire. We'll check the Stellar Wish, and this will tell us what play we can even kind of make this turn. All right, well, we got no Welder. So it's going to have to be the knockout Wooper play and then find a Welder on the next turn. So we're going to get rid of one of these. And we got the Cherish Ball, because now we can Cherish Ball the Reshiram back out of the deck. And get him out of the deck so we don't have to see him in the deck anymore, which is, we definitely don't want to see him in the deck anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and get him back out of the deck. Here we go, Reshiram. But they have double custom catcher, they win anyway, so I think I'm probably going to go ahead and bench the Reshiram at this point. And then, yeah, go with that 9 Temptations. We're going to bring up the Wooper. Got it as close as we possibly could. Still comes down to, does our opponent have the custom catchers? Do they have the Whale Lord GX attack, which they could also do. They could just GX attack us with Whale Lord and we also lose. Do they have it? We're going to find out here in just a second. If our opponents got the sauce. Custom Catchers works. KO Dedenne. Wailord GX attack also works. They can get 8 energy in play to pull it off. We'll see. Here come the charging ups. I'm a little scared of it. Well, I guess I didn't check if they have the energy. They have the energy in the discard pile. Okay. Plenty of energy in the discard pile. They got the U-turn board to give themselves the free retreat. So if they just have the Wailord, they just have game. If they just have the custom catchers, they just have game. I'm sure they know what's up. It's just a matter of time on this one. There's a Mew. Mew also works to snipe our Dedenne for 3, as long as they see it. And they have the custom catchers, so they had quite a few outs here. And we are going to be taking the L here on this first one to the NagQuag, right as they're about to retreat. And Hydro Pump our Reshiram for a whole ton here. Yeah. Nothing we can do about this one. Going to be a loss here to the NagQuag here in the end. Like I said, tough matchup. Hard to get through all the quags. We ideally want to be on the aggressive about chasing down quags, but we did go second, I believe, and that put us behind a turn. So we weren't able to ever really get in a position to KO quags. They kind of just sent them up for us, and we kind of KO'd them as they came up. Nothing we could do about it, and we ended up taking an L here in this first game to the NagQuag. Game, another Dedenne start, but we are at least going first in this one, so that gives us a slight advantage despite the Dedenne start. Who are up against here. Whimsicott. Oh no. We do have Ninetales to be able to chase stuff down, and it looks like it is a welder build, so not the worst thing ever, that's for sure. I can definitely okay with that. We're gonna start with the Acro Bike here to see what this gives us before we decide anything. Oof, definitely want the Victini here. Gotta let one of the Ninetales go. That is unfortunate. Gonna calm the Teeny back in the deck. Let's hopefully see the second Ninetales. There he is. And we'll grab one of those other Dedennes. Attached to Reshiram, play the Hearth. I could switch into the Reshiram, but I might want to Escape Board into a Jirachi instead. But switching into Reshiram really doesn't seem that bad right now, actually. I think I am going to go for it here. And then, yeah, Dedenne change for 6. Looking for that Welder. We'll see. No Welder yet. We can possibly get a Jirachi. Gonna Hearth first. Gonna get rid of a fire to get 2 more fires. Maybe should have got rid of the Hearth. I have a feeling they're maybe playing Hearths themselves. Acro Bike here. Looking for that Welder. There it is. Nice to see it. Yeah, I have a feeling they're maybe playing some Hearth themselves. So maybe should have just got rid of my own Hearth there. Welder to our active. Want some more options here. Alright. That's a cool option. Switch. And then, yeah, go ahead, hit him with that Stellar Wish. See what we can get. Another Escape Board. Not a great option. But better than nothing, I guess. Gonna go ahead and find ourselves that Ninetales for sure right now, or the Vulpix to try and get into the Ninetales as soon as possible. Give ourselves that gusting option ASAP. We know what our next turn is gonna be. It's gonna be a Flare Strike somewhere. Just kind of have to figure out where it is, and we'd prefer to be able to pick where it is. So definitely want to get the Vulpix out to potentially go into Ninetales. KOing Ditto probably gonna be about as good as KOing anything else. So it's probably just gonna be a KO on the Ditto next turn, but better to give ourselves the potential of the option than not. And then, yeah, we're looking for a Welder off this Stellar Wish next turn. That's definitely going to be what we're looking for, is a Welder. We have a Hearth in play and a Hearth in hand, so we can always find 2 fire to get into play with it. Okay, Wanderer's Labyrinth. They are playing different stadiums. Oh, and there's a pass from our opponent. So this one is going to be a quick one here. Hearth, no basic Pokemon found off the Cynthia. Just going to Hearth for 2 fires and take a quick dub. We had that ideal setup, the Welder to the Reshiram plus the Vulpix, so we're ready to deal with a lot of situations that could come up. Unfortunately for our opponent, Lone Ditto is not going to cut it, and we're going to take a dub here over this Whimsicott deck. To another one here, super crispy start. We got the Vulpix and the Jirachi in the opening hand. Calm to put the Ninetales back in the deck. Probably going to grab ourselves a Rat in the form of Dedenne, but we'll see what our opponent is playing. It looks like Malamar, and we definitely want to try and take an early turn 1 prize. So our go-to is definitely going to be the Heatran. Heatran is going to be our go-to guy here off the start. Take this early Tina knockout, then look to knock out Malamars every turn after that for the rest of the game. Well, for the most part. Definitely one of the game plans to look after. Depending on how our opponent draws, we might switch it up a little bit. But yeah, we'll see where it goes. Definitely gonna look for that turn 1 knockout. Well, I guess on Jirachi works as well with the Heatran. Heatran knock out something turn 1. Doesn't really matter what it is, just want to knock it out. So yeah, that's gonna be our game plan here for the first turn. Heatran, take a knockout, and then kind of go from there. Use Ninetales to bring up Inkays, knock out Inkays or Malamars, and then just keep cruising. being pretty aggressive here early on with the Stellar Wishing and such. Acro Bikes as well. There's another Acro Bike. Is that the third? No, it's the second one. Okay. Another Acro Bike here. Get rid of a Tina. Ooh, that's a pretty good discard there with the Tina. And another Acro Bike. Okay, 3 Acro Bikes now. 3 Acro Bikes deep. There goes an Escape Board. I'd like to see that discarded. There's the Dedenne. Ooh, definitely like to see that hit our opponent's field. Definitely going to chase that guy down at some point and to take care of him. He's not going to be long for this world. That's for sure. So yeah, it looks like we're going to go with knock out Jirachi. There's the second Inkay for our opponent. And then we're going to look to just chase some Malamars, chase Dedenne at the end of the game to close it out. So as long as we set up pretty fine and efficiently, this one's looking pretty good so far. I know the match has just started, but I'm liking the way this one's looking. I'm liking it. Ooh, and a Lily. Oh, wow, they're not even close to being done yet. When they drew so many cards already, I was like, all right, that has to be it, right? But no, that was the Dedenne. Here goes the Lily. A ton of cards for our opponent. Yeah, they're in a pretty good spot themselves. They've been a pretty good turn one. Besides the Dedenne coming into play, this has been pretty clean so far. Ooh, no more Inkays though. All right, that's fine with me. Draw for turn. Another Jirachi. Definitely not ideal. I think we just start with the Acro Bike here. There's the Welder. So now that changes things. Definitely going to go with Viridian Forest, get rid of Jirachi, get ourselves a Fire. We're going to calm away the Ninetales to get the... Oh, I guess I didn't need to do this quite yet. I didn't actually need to do that right now. Oh, Heatran is missing. No. All right, I guess we're going in with the Double Blaze GX early on then. That's still fine. It still gets the job done. Definitely not as ideal. I guess checking ends up working out here. Because otherwise we would have been in quite the spot. Let's see. Definitely want to Pal Pad that back in already, I think. Wouldn't mind drawing into a Welder. Gonna Stellar Wish. There is the Welder. There's also a Hearth. Huh. I'm actually kind of torn on what to take here. I think I'm gonna go with the Welder here. We do have the Viridian Force to abuse, so I think we'll be in a good spot by grabbing the Welder. We'll switch into the Reshiram. And because the Reshiram is actually in the active, we don't have to be afraid of... What do we not have to be afraid of? We don't have to be afraid of the Tina two-shotting us. They're going to hit us for 130 this turn, and then we can start outraging, and they have no way to kind of keep up from there. We'll be in a good spot from there, yeah. That's going to be great. There's the Dedenne send up, so I assume this guy's getting the Escape Board here. Almost certainly. There's the Malamar. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, second Malamar. Yeah, so they're going to hit us for 130, and then we're going to look to just go with an Outrage knockout on one of those Malamars, and then they're going to hit us for 130, and then we're going to Outrage once again. They can't use Mimikyu to copycat Outrage for much damage at all, and they can't get Distortion Door damage on us or Spell Tag damage on us if we don't knock out a Spell Tag. So if they put 2 Spell Tags on 2 Malamars, we won't chase the Malamars. But if they don't put the Spell Tags on the Malamars, we're going to chase the Malamars. That is the game plan. Of course, it might change depending on what our opponent actually ends up doing, but that's the current game plan. There's the Shadow Impact for 130. So like I said, chilling. Not going to do anything with it. Draw for turn is the Ninetales. That's a pretty good draw. We're going to Viridian Forest away the Reshiram, get ourselves a Fire. And then I think I will just Heat Factory. No, I think we should Welder. Well, there's not we're not weldering anything, so I think I'll Heat Factory first. Now that's no fire energy though. Definitely want the Victini. All right, maybe I should have gone. I mean, I guess it would end up in the same scenario. We'd have no fire for anything there. Gonna evolve this, and I guess we're gonna go Outrage and knock out the Giratina. Not optimal. Would have definitely liked to have KO'd a Malamar, but our opponent's turn is pretty slow, so I guess I can't complain too much. Get the Outrage, which means no way for them to KO us unless they want to use like a. They could knock us out now with something like an Ultra Necrozma. But with how slow their start has been so far, I'm not too afraid of that potentially happening. It could happen, and our ideal response would be a Turtonator, but with how slow our start has been, we're not even close to being able to potentially use a Turtonator. There's a Garchomp Giratina. That is a game changer. I did not expect that at all. Having to deal with that is definitely annoying. We're going to do our best. But yeah, having to deal with that now is definitely annoying, especially after having gotten rid of our second Reshiram. I guess I shouldn't have gotten rid of our second Reshiram quite yet. So now we're in quite the pickle. Yeah, we're in quite the situation now. This has gotten pretty bad, pretty fast. Yeah, we're getting knocked out, and then we don't really have a good response into this. We can hit it with Victini for a reasonable amount of damage, but not a whole ton. But But I guess that has to be our game plan. Use Victini here, knock out, or just punch this Giratina Garchomp. I guess we could get lucky and get enough energy in play to take the one-shot, but that's pretty unlikely. We could go chase a Malamar for the turn and then chase this later with the Victini if we got something like the Turtonator. We could just two-shot this and then one-shot something at the end of the game as well, which is probably going to be the game plan here. I'm going to start with the Heat Factory for 3. Escape Board for that is cool. Could we possibly get enough energy in the discard pile? It would be really hard. Yeah, I think it's going to have to be two-shot this guy. It's going to have to be two-shot this guy. Let's go with the Hearth. Get rid of this. Search out 2 more fire. Trying to come up with the perfect game plan. Hard to come up with the perfect game plan sometimes. I think it's going to be two-shot this guy with Victini plus something. Probably Turtonator. And then one-shot a Malamar to close out the game. I think that's going to be our game plan here. Alright, Stellar Wish. Calm is perfect because we need to set up a second Ninetales. Could we go back-to-back Ninetales as well? Or we could just get the Turtonator here, actually. Turtonator here also works. We don't have to take anything here, actually, yet. Well, we should grab the Turtonator, actually, I think. Yeah, let's go get the Turtonator. Alright, Turtonator. So that's our game plan. We're going to two-shot this. With this and Turtonator, and then one-shot a Malamar with a Ninetales at the end of the game. That seems good enough to me. I'm down. Let's do it. Could have also gone with, I don't know. 120. We'll hit it for 200 next turn with Turtonator. And then if we have to bring it back up with the Ninetales, we can do that as well. We should be in a good spot here. I think we're in a pretty good spot. Knock out this big Garchomp Giratina, and then Ninetales knock out a Malamar to close out the game, or just use Turtonator to take another knockout if they like KO our Ninetales for some reason or something like that. So I still think we're in a fine spot as long as they don't heal anything. If they scoop up heads this, I think we lose. But if they don't scoop up heads, scoop up and get heads and heal this, I think we got this one locked up. There's a spell tag to the Tina. Not worried about that. They'd have to have like 2 spell tags to trigger at this point for me to be scared of spell tags. So yeah, not scared of their spell tag at all. I guess I could potentially be a little scared of reset stamp once we KO this and we go down to 1 prize, but we do have 3 Dedennes left, so I wouldn't even be too scared of that. Plenty of ways to draw cards with the Dedennes potentially, so yeah, that wouldn't even be that scary either. We'll get quite a bit of fire energy out of the deck this turn, bringing this thing back into the active and then knocking it out with Turtonator as well. So I'm feeling good about this one still. I think we still have this one pretty much. We have a solid game plan, pretty set up around it. Should be good to go. I could have just like not discarded this second Reshiram earlier and Welder to it, and we would be in a way better spot. But oh well, this is the spot we're in now. Just gonna have to work with what we got, and it's still winnable situation, so we should be good. Kind of whenever I see a Malamar deck, I kind of just always assume it's just kind of Psychic Malamar, which for the most part is pretty reasonable. I guess this time not quite what ended up being what's being played, but oh well. There's the switch to the Tina. Are they actually even KOing our Victini this turn? It looks like they're maybe not even KOing Victini. There's Cynthia. I don't think they have attached for turn, so they're just waiting for the attachment. I think that they've gone Psychic Recharge twice and then switch Cynthia. So they just need the attachment here. I have faith in them. If I had to bet, I would bet they get it. If they don't get it, that's really good for us. That is really, 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 really good for us. But if I had to bet, whoa, there's the whiff. All right, that is insanely good for us. I do kind of just want a lot of fire energy here. Need some for next turn as well. So we're gonna Welder here. I'm gonna Hearth away a Jirachi, get 2 more, and then we're gonna knock this big guy out here with the 9 Temptations. Get rid of those, bring him up, and then the Explosive Jet for the knockout. Retreat real fast, and Explosive Jet. 1, 2. Wait, can I do it with 3? I can do it with 3, and I could leave an energy on the Victini. Want to do that? That seems pretty good to me. 150, 270, unless I miscounted, which even if I did miscount, we would have 1 extra turn to try and pull this back. That sounds, yeah, that sounds good to me. Let's do that. That sounds way better. There's the Heatran. Want to be using him in the early game. No such luck. And energy, calm. All right, it's looking great. I think we have this one pretty much wrapped up at this point now. Before I was feeling good, now I'm feeling great. Our opponent whiffed the Shadow Impact last turn, and this one should be all but locked up. We got a Hearth and an energy. They definitely need to reset stamp us to have a chance. And even if they do reset stamp us, I'm still feeling good about it. So yeah, there needs to be a reset stamp this turn from our opponent if they want a chance to win. There's not a reset stamp. I think we almost 100% win this game. There's nothing our opponent could possibly ever do. Okay, there's the reset stamp. As I was saying, they need it. They got it. We do have a Stellar Wish to try and get us into a Dedenne, which is going to be the guy we're looking for. I guess I maybe could have just knocked out the Giratina so they couldn't reset stamp us so low and then gone for the Ninetales play on the following turn and played around to reset stamp that way. Then they would only be able to reset stamp us to 3. Maybe that was the better way to go, actually. Maybe I was a little bit too aggressive there. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Maybe I was a little bit too aggressive there. Well, oops. My bad, I guess. Still in a good spot. If we top deck energy, we currently have it. If they don't replace our Giant Hearth, but they are down. Oh, only one Viridian Forest down, so wouldn't be surprised for them. Wouldn't be surprised if they did replace our Stadium. And there is another pass, and we do have the Switch plus the attach to the Victini. Actually, we need a trainer card here. That'll do. That actually gets us the Dedenne, but we're not going to do that because we don't need to. I don't think. Yeah, we should be good with just going like this. As long as there's 2 fire left, which I'm almost positive. Yeah, plenty of fire left. Okay, we've done it. Gonna go attach to Victini. Then 9 Temptations up this guy. And then retreat and knock out with Victini to take this dub over the Malamar deck. Couple awkward draws from our opponent, and that's it. They did catch us off guard with the Giratina Garchomp early on. That did definitely catch me off guard. But once we recovered, smooth sailing from there, take a dub here over the Malamar. And that's going to do it for the video for today, guys, with some AbilityZard. I'm actually really liking this deck. The one thing that kind of scares me from wanting to play it in a tournament is the potential of Wobbuffet in a lot of decks, stopping the attacks from Victini happening. That's really the only thing holding me back from playing it in tournament, but on PTCGO ladder, I haven't ran into too many Wobbuffets, so not as scared of it on that. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, join the content, subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Have a good day. Thanks for watching, and peace.